You have tuned in to the Political Vigilante, which means you are somewhere within the Gotham City limits, and you want to make Gotham great again. Boom, shalaka-laka. Got Make Gotham Great Again shirts that are for sale on my website. The link is below. It's another great way to support the channel and let everybody know you are woke. I found this article from the Black Agenda Report, which one of the contributors on it is the vice presidential candidate for 2016 from the Green Party that Jill Stein ran with. I forget how to pronounce his name, but he writes a lot on this site, so I came across it. There's a great article about, well, I'll show you the name of the article. So it is this. Boom. We Love the CIA, or How the Left Lost Its Mind. It's by Ann Garrison, who writes frequently on the site. And what she goes into, and again, the link is below. There's also a podcast from this website. It's really worth paying attention to. She's talking about how there's a bunch of left-leaning radio stations, namely one in Berkeley, KPFK, I believe. It's part of Pacifica Radio. And there are all these sort of left-leaning radio stations, and even they are going nuts. And they are screaming for war because everyone, she calls it Trump derangement syndrome. The left is like going hard right. The left wants war. The left is like Russia, 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 war, war, war. It's crazy. And she's saying, I listen to this in Berkeley, right? Peace and Love Berkeley is saying all these things. And I just got to read what is, like, here's something that was on. Karen Greenberg, director of the Center of National Security at Fordham University, said this on KPFK Drive Time. Yes, I think it's an extremely important point. I think that the distrust, it's not hate. You should always distrust the mechanisms of power. Yeah. But like it or not, the FBI and CIA are important institutions that, if are conducted lawfully and ethically, are there to keep us safe. Public radio in Berkeley. And at this point in time in our history, we need them. We need Bob Mueller. See that? I'm sorry. Do you want to look at that? We need Bob Mueller. Okay. To be doing what he's doing, and we need to trust the CIA. I'm sorry. I just want you to read what I'm reading, because I'm going insane. So I have to look at it when you look at it so that I don't think I'm going nuts. But I agree on the point that blind trust is not good. Oh, you think? That law enforcement and intelligence agencies need to always have the same scrutiny that they've had in the past. And sometimes more than they've had in the past. Fordham University. So what this goes to is one of the things that Chris Hedges has talked about, how the CIA, the liberal institutions, have been all hijacked by the corporate state, by the deep state. Fordham University, right? Remember when colleges used to be the free thinking? That was in the 60s and 70s, and they challenged the power. Now the colleges are all about, I mean, and even the political correct thing. Censorship is coming from the hard left, not the right. Fordham University. Pro-CIA professor at Fordham University. It's funny, I've been watching mainly for a diversionary, like, escapist entertainment. I've been binge watching West Wing on Netflix. Wow, is that neoliberal, globalist bullshit propaganda? And they say crap like this. The season, especially after 9/11 happened, they're all like, hey, we kind of need the CIA. They keep us safe. And all this, like, wow, this like deep state propaganda just gets fed in there. So this is what the journalist says in response to Karen's statements. So the FBI and CIA are A-okay so long as they're helping the Democrats take down Trump instead of infiltrating the U.S. press as mockingbirds or engineering the assassination of foreign and domestic leaders, or taking down the Black Panther Party, the anti-Vietnam War movement, the civil rights movement, the Young Lords, radical feminists, and other groups that made up the new left of the 60s and 70s, and more recently Black Lives Matter, black identity extremists, WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, and other whistleblowers? Nails them. Just crucifies. And this is what we got to do, guys. This is us as progressives. When our favorite liberal talk radio stations say this pro-CIA crap, we got to come at them just as hard as when, you know, when Trump puts whatever, ExxonMobil in the State Department. This is ridiculous. This is the problem with the two-party system. This is the problem with identity politics. And this is the problem with the team mentality. So when Bush was all pro-CIA, oh, we're going to go after him, oh, that's awful, it's awful. When Obama and everyone else, then we need the CIA. So when the CIA starts investigating Hillary Clinton for her crimes, then oh, well, there we go. The CIA is awful. When Trump, then they're doing the right thing. Come on, Trump is evil and corrupt. So were the Clintons. So were the Clintons. And this is just great. Just shows the history. Like, people on the left have lost their minds. The neoliberals have lost their minds. They're all pro FBI and CIA. The FBI that bugged Dr. King, that's the gang we got to get behind. The awful CIA, the shit that the CIA does and is still doing. Okay. Listen to this one. This is Richard Silverstein, who was also on the show. If you read in the link in the show notes, she just pulls these excerpts from all of these interviews on this channel. We've had very damaging impact on countries like Guatemala, Iran, you know, Central American countries. We've gone through major adventures like this. I don't think that we've ever succeeded. Okay. When you read this, just get real quiet real quick. That's everyone in all those countries falling off their chair laughing. If you listen, yeah, you hear it? That's everyone in Central America spitting up their beer laughing at this. If we've ever tried on this sort of a scale, it would be as if the CIA attempted to get its own chosen candidate elected as the president of Russia or the president of China. Is this radio for 5-year-olds? Yes, and a big fat man comes down the chimney with presents. The Easter Bunny's gonna thing, and the Tooth Fairy takes your tooth and puts money there in the middle of the night. We've tried some shenanigans, but it was never as mean as big old Russia. Golly gee. That's kind of a breathtaking ambition to be able to have that happen. We're the richest, most powerful country in the history of the world with a military that is on every continent. A military that has bases all over the world. We spend trillions of dollars on our war machine. You really think we could never conceive of doing this thing that Russia did by spending, what they spent, 100 grand on Facebook? Oh boy. Whew. And we've meddled in countries, in individual countries, I think, on a smaller scale, although perhaps the number of countries we've meddled, it may be greater than the Russians have, but what they've done is really breathtaking. And then this journalist points out this fact that perhaps Silverstein must have missed the July 15th, 1996 Time magazine with Yeltsin on the cover and this headline, "Yanks to the Rescue, the secret story of how American advisors helped Yeltsin win." Like, and she talks about how the DJs or whatever you want to call them on the interviewers on this public radio station, they just do like here's what they don't like challenge or argue. That's sort of their format. Okay, but the guy says something this preposterous. I think on a smaller scale, and you really are going to go, okay. How is this any more irresponsible than when CNN has, Bill Nye talking about climate change, and then they bring on the other point of view. Well, let's get both sides of it. This is the same crap the corporate media does. Right? KPFA News reports not only tend toward the he said, she said format, but are also dispassionate.